gentlemen, welcome to the EVTN YouTube network. We are firmly ensconced behind the golden EVTN microphone, doing this show with one half of my brain tied behind my back just to make it fair.
With talent on loan from God.
Well, since this is the EVTN news network, the Vigano reports that there wasn't much to report with Vigano, but plenty to report with China.
Yes.
China.
So, well, and it's really not funny. I mean, I'm laughing, but it's not funny.
It's not funny at all. The Pope has been sold a bill of goods, or did he buy it himself? Yes, because they made a secret deal, which is still a secret. We can only speculate, but everyone can only speculate what it actually says. What it supposedly says is that the Pope will be given 3 names to pick of bishops. So he has 3 names to pick from, and he gets to pick one. And that somehow means that he picked the bishop, even though they picked the ones that he gets to pick from. But the new rules have been promulgated in China. They will be effective, I think, as of March 15th. And they don't mention that at all. They just mention there's a big form that they have to fill out, and they talk about the bishop's democratic election. Yes, the democratic election. That's the one that doesn't involve the Pope. Or, I don't know, any of the clergy, from what I can tell.
Do you want this? Do you really want Pope Francis choosing bishops? I don't know who I choose. What's worse, the Chinese Communist Party or Pope Francis? It's like you're between a rock and a hard place.
Either place, you're going to get married bishops. Well, not yet, anyway. Only in China so far.
Yeah, that's right. That one dude was married.
Still is.
And is he, like, officially acting as a bishop?
Yes, he's officially a bishop.
Well, it's schismatic.
No.
No. Well, he's in good standing.
Maybe not in the Francis Church, but in the real Catholic Church, it's schismatic.
Yes. Well, they put out the rules. The rules say nothing about the secret agreement. So the secret agreement is worth the paper it's not written on.
Well, speaking of religious persecution, Pope Francis to visit Iraq. And when is he visiting Iraq, Brett?
In a few days, in the beginning of March, like the first week of March. I don't know the exact dates. I don't have them to hand, but we can link to it. They say he's going to go. He says he's going to go. They're preparing the ground. He's going.
Wow.
And we're all very excited. I personally am very excited because I think this is going to be the saving of Jorge Bergoglio. First of all, he's doing something very Catholic. He's visiting a persecuted church, and he's bringing the world's attention to the fact that this church, one of the oldest Catholic churches in the world, has been persecuted to near extinction. His going there is a good thing, even if he's doing it. Mm-hmm. Second of all, there is a really non-zero chance that he will come back in a box. He may get blowed up real good. It happened to General Soleimani, and he had a lot of troops. Mm-hmm. It happens to American servicemen. It happens to the Kurds. It happens to a lot of people. It's not a safe country. It hasn't been for a very long time. And he may go, and we do know that certain religions, Islam, believes in jihadis, believes in people who give it all up for their faith and blow people like, say, the Pope up. He's golden if he does that in his religion. And you know what? And if the Pope is killed in odium fidei, then you know what? He is a martyr.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that may be used to canonize not only him, but all the horrific changes that he keeps on trying to make to the one holy Catholic and Apostolic. So maybe it's his idea, maybe it's that guy in the corner that, likes to keep down underneath. And I don't know which one it is, or if it's a cabal, or if it's George Soros, or if it's Chairman Z. I don't know who it is, but someone maybe, and with Francis, they may have said, they may have made it his idea, and now he's all gung-ho. But we pray for the success of the trip, And we pray for the Pope's soul, whatever happens.
Yeah, it was interesting. I did see an EWTN reporter saying that he would be covering religious persecution in Iraq. And so if you're an EWTN watcher, make sure to watch for that, because I think it'll prompt some questions that are inconvenient that Pope Francis might not have wanted to answer at the beginning of the trip, but he might be forced to at least give some kind of answer towards the religious persecution.
Being the Pope means never having to give an answer to anyone for anything, and we have 8 years to prove it.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, he'll tough it out.
John, this week there was a Mexican bishop who gave an interesting sermon against masks.
Bishop Antonio Gonzalez Sanchez of the Diocese of Ciudad Victoria, he said that wearing a mask is the result of lack of faith. I can give you some direct quotes. In these times, physical leprosy no longer exists, but we are living in another kind of leprosy, the famous pandemic, and it seems to me, obviously I may be wrong, we are lacking faith, a faith that drives us to ask God for this to end. For me, on a personal level, the famous face mask is not trusting in God. Now, I don't think he banned masks from his diocese, but it sounds like he gives people the option of wearing masks.
Yeah,
which
Amoris Masketizia, he's totally on board with that.
It's great. I mean, it's so refreshing to hear a bishop stand on his hind legs and talk about the faith like that, especially against the virus.
Yeah.
So,
add him to the
vaya con Dios.
add him to the very small list of bishops who
The
promote the
antivirus
antivirus
bishops.
religions.
Yeah, amen.
Bishop Paprocki's one. I'm sure Strickland.
Yeah.
Strickland, definitely.
Brett, there was a news article this week that the Vatican may be pressuring employees to receive the experimental jab.
Well, that can't be true, Ryan, because as a member of the EU, it's illegal to force someone to take the jab, especially if it's experimental, just to keep their job. And yet, the Pope had one of his cardinals announce just that if you don't take the jab, you're going to lose your job.
No jab, no job.
You got it. Now, they didn't get hearts and flowers from the press for this, because most people think that's a horrible idea to submit someone to an experimental drug just to keep your job. They're not even Catholic and they think it's a horrible idea. So they're trying to walk it back, but they still said, well, we'll just move your job and, with our layoffs, well,
Yeah, if it comes time for layoffs, yeah, you know what they're saying.
Yeah, we all know what they're saying. So a little scary, especially coming from the Vatican.
The Diocese of Lexington had 17 active and 4 retired priests sign a pledge. It was supporting the Rainbow Youth in their diocese. And this comes from Rainbow Bishop Stowe. He's the bishop of the diocese, and he has been very strongly supportive of the Rainbow agenda in the Diocese of Lexington. Also interesting to note, the diocese has a director of LMNOP ministry, and his email is on the link, which is particularly interesting. Anyway, Brett, I think you wanted to paraphrase the statement that they signed?
Well, I was going to, but then we have breaking news. Breaking news, another announcement from the Diocese of Lexington. Let me read it to you fresh. We priests of the Diocese of Lexington, Kentucky, following the example of our ordinary Bishop John Stowe, and in union with the Mexican Diocese Carjackers Ministry, publicly proclaim our support for the carjacking youth in our diocese, who are significantly more at risk than their peers of getting shot. The Catechism of the Catholic Church does not teach that carjackers should be treated with respect, compassion, or sensitivity, or that every sign of unjust discrimination in their regard should be avoided. But it should. All people of goodwill should help, support, and defend carjacking youth who attempt suicide at much higher rates, who become homeless because of rejection, who are bullied and harassed right here in the Diocese of Lexington, and who often become targets of violent acts themselves. The Catholic Church believes that the God-given dignity of all human life must be defended, supported, and celebrated. We proclaim to our carjacking community, especially to our youth, that we, your pastors and priests, stand with you. We oppose any form of violence directed toward you, even in self-defense, and denounce any bullying, harmful rhetoric, or harassment directed to you. We pledge to honor, defend, support, and celebrate your dignity because you are beloved members of the Church, reflections of God Himself, who loves you more than we can ever imagine and is on your side. Please don't kill us. That's it.
Wow. I felt that came from the Spirit.
Absolutely.
I don't know which spirit, but it was the Spirit.
Well, once you identify as a carjacker, that's it. You know, you're a carjacker for life.
Yeah.
You might be suppressing your desire to grab a 45 and run up to someone's car and, you know, put it to the window and drag them out and take it. But, you know, you're still that guy.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to hear our real opinion on this, I would encourage you to tune into our Rumble channel, and that is labeled John the Son of Thunder. And I think you can kind of understand what we're talking about here, so tune in to Rumble for more.
John, speaking about our Rumble channel, the White House has been reaching out to Facebook, Twitter, and Google about clamping down on COVID, quote-unquote, misinformation, and enlisting their help to stop it from going viral. Funny word to use. An unnamed senior administration official said. What can you tell us about it?
Well, it's the new administration, and they're against freedom of information. They're against the First Amendment. Now, the White House's direct engagement with the companies to mitigate the challenge has not been previously reported. So it's already been happening, but they decided to finally tell us. So they went to the source, the unnamed senior administration official. So that's, you can take that to the bank. Good luck. Disinformation that causes vaccine hesitancy. That's what we have, vaccine hesitancy. We're against it. So they're all upset because there was a protest at Dodger Stadium, which has been turned into a COVID vaccine site. And, so what did they happen? Oh, they briefly blocked public access to the stadium. Burning down Portland is okay, though. The event illustrated the extent to which social media platforms have become a critical organizing tool for movements such as the anti-vaccine drive. Yes, there's a drive, and you can be part of it, and that's what we want. On Thursday, Democratic Senator and pretend soldier Dick Blumenthal criticized the platforms for carrying ads that he said funds and promotes dangerous conspiracy theories, COVID-19 disinformation, and malign foreign propaganda. I'm glad they're worried about the foreigners. I thought that's like very Trumpish, isn't it?
Trumpish, yeah. No talking like that under the Biden regime.
Okay. So Facebook said they've reached out to the White House to offer any assistance we can provide. Twitter said we're in regular communication with the White House. And Google said we point to our company blog on how we stop misinformation. The companies were, quote, receptive as they engage with the White House, but it's too soon to say whether or not it translates into lessening the spread of misinformation. There will be more details soon, in the next 10 days or so of the source added. So there you go. That's the report on that. Yes, your government is against it.
This is wrong think here. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Google are not going to allow wrong think about the virus. You can't blaspheme the holy, blessed, and eternal virus.
Absolutely.
If you blaspheme, you will be canceled. If you blaspheme the jab and the virus. And so, it's the new religion. Imagine if YouTube or Facebook or whatever, censored blasphemy, hate speech against the Catholic faith, heresy. Imagine if they did that. But you can see what the true religion is. It's this jab and the virus.
Google is a parent company of YouTube, and we are on YouTube, and this has nothing to do with the Catholic faith. Well, I mean, indirectly it could, but it has a lot to do with our YouTube channel. That's why you need to follow us on Rumble, and this has been EVTN News. Thank you so much for watching. We are the laity,
and we will not be silent.